Welcome to Press Room, where everyone's welcome.
If you've ever felt like you're wearing a dozen different hats, maybe one for that creative passion that just lights you up, another for that 9 to 5 that keeps things grounded, and perhaps a few more as you navigate the roller coaster of things like life, love, and maybe even the hopes and hurdles of building a family, then you're exactly at the right place.
Press Room is where nothing is out of bounds, and you're all welcome to come and join the conversation. So come on in.
Hi, I'm Sonam, girl with the green glasses, corporate baddie, and artist.
Hi, I'm Priya. I'm multi-hyphenated from pharma to real estate and to entertainment reporter.
Hi, I'm Rashmi Gill. I'm an ex-lawyer turned photographer wearing her silver crown in New York City.
Thank you for tuning into episode 3. This is a continuation of our last episode on fertility. It's part 2. If you haven't already watched it or listened to it, we advise you to go back, listen to our journeys and our thoughts on fertility.
I always say it's like, you know, we got to maintain the car sometimes.
Yes.
We got to get the oil change. We got to, whatever the case, we get our physicals yearly.
Exactly.
Our mind needs that checkup too. But, you know, going back to the whole fertility journey and whatever, but like, are we asking the right questions? Are people asking the right questions?
Well, what would you like people to ask you then? What would feel good to you or comfortable to you without it being judgy?
Oh, it's going back to how are you feeling?
Yeah.
You know, that would be great. You know, how can I support you? What can I do for you?
Right.
Can I come to your appointments? You know, I have a cousin that she's come to one of my appointments, 2 of my appointments, and I love that support system because I don't have a significant other. So having that support system from my cousin to one of my best friends, I was really happy to do it. And it did make me more fearful to do the journey then, you know, and I felt like not alone.
Yeah. Well, there was something someone said, and it can apply to a lot of situations where they say, listen, here's a list of things that I can do to help. Let me know which one works or if none of them work.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
know, but just being there, I think, is such a big support. You know? Being there, just a shoulder to cry on or to vent or to, like, to your point, bring to an appointment. During my first IVF round, my husband was traveling so much. He barely came to most of my appointments. And so my best friend came with me, and you need someone with you because all the information is so much information that you just sit there going, what is going on? And having a second person there and asking questions for you and being your advocate to some point. I couldn't even do the shots by myself. I had to get other people to do it for me. So I had to have someone there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's lonely.
Yeah.
It's so lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like you're the only person, but you're not. So you're not the only person.
No.
Like, there are so many people out there who are going through similar but different things. And it's okay if you don't want to talk about it, but it's okay if you do. Don't feel judged.
Right. And, you know, I will say that I think you guys more know about what I've gone through than other friends of mine. They know, with you guys, you know that I've gone through 2 or 3 rounds. The eggs fertilized and then they stopped. That's the end all. That's it. It didn't go further than that, you know, and that is going back to grief, loss,
Totally.
you know, and I haven't been able to talk to any of my friends about it because I'll be honest with you, it's just something I think I've internalized to some degree as well. This is on me a little bit. I want to talk about it. So I think this is the space that I want people to know that
it's your therapy.
This is my therapy for sure. And I think, you know, we should all be able to talk about what we've gone through as women when it comes to this journey.
Without feeling the shame or feeling judged.
Correct.
Do you think, or not think, I guess both of you are best inclined to answer this. If it didn't work embryoi the first time, do you process your feelings before starting that second, third round? Or do you leave space in between to start that process?
Interesting question.
So I did process my feelings. Okay. I did process them the 3 times that I did it between each one. One was 1 year, and then I did the next one the following year, like a year apart.
Okay.
Because during that year, I did process what happened with the first round. And I wanted to see, and I was scared when I did the first round. And then afterwards, I was disappointed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want this more than ever now. That was my process. Okay. And then the next thing is I also have this personality where I'm like, everything's peachy too. You know, it's going to be good. I need positive thinking, manifestation, all of that. So I went in with the second round much more like hyped and positive, and it didn't work. And then 3 months later, so I'm within those 3 months, I did it again. So I went into that third one, the third one, a little bit more like I'm going to just go into it. And then I was burnt out. After the third one, there's what's called IVF burnout.
Is that physical, emotional,
body, everything,
or everything above?
Everything,
mentally,
everything.
Emotion, right?
It's like exhausting, you know. And so I said, let me give myself another break. And here I am, 47 years old, going through perimenopause, and my fear is, am I going to be able to have my own child anytime soon? You know, I have all these other emotions going on. So it's a constant emotional dissection of your emotions.
How far are you willing to go to have a child?
I'm going to try one more time this year. But I also, and this is the other thing I also want to talk about is that people should know what their options are.
Exactly.
So just recently, I think I mentioned it to you guys in a group chat. There's this, it's in the works. It's experimental. It's called Fertility. This is not a sponsored thing or anything. But this is,
and we're not giving medical advice.
We're not giving medical advice.
Yeah.
But apparently, there's this new technique or new treatment where instead of you injecting for the week or 2 weeks to get the egg retrieval, they do it a little bit earlier, and they take out whatever egg is there, and then they'll inject it in the petri dish or whatever you want to call it, more of the hormones, and they grow the egg in there, and then they'll do whatever, fertilize it, freeze it, whatever you want to do. So I know that there is a fertility center in New York that is affiliated with this experiment. And I'm just like, well, can I try this? So that's something I'm looking into. So there's just so many more options out there that I feel like if I could just try one more time with that, that would be great. But I'll see. Could happen naturally, that would be fine too. You know,
any single men out there?
Any single men out there, I'm okay with that. You know.
Well, I mean, having said that, I know women, incredible women who are doing incredible things, who have made the choice to have children by themselves. They got themselves a sperm donor. One of them has 2 amazing girls, and that was her choice, and she is thriving, and those girls are incredible as well. So I think, again, it comes back to choices, knowing your choices. It comes back to me telling my 11-year-old, these are the ways a baby is made. It's not just the old traditional way. There are many ways to have a child, and her growing up knowing that it's a choice to have a child in itself is a choice. And I think it's empowering for women and young ladies to know that this is all options.
Yeah. And, you know, all the women that are out there, we're going through this very sticky point in our life right now as women, where our rights are being taken away slowly. The access to women's health care is being taken away. The research is being taken away for whatever reasons. But if women of the late 20s or however age bracket, and they want to have children, I'm not saying this as medical advice, but this is just a suggestion, is if you want to have children down the road, but you're not sure because of whatever choices you're making in your life, whatever it may be, try to see if you want to freeze your eggs. And I know you're going through that.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the choices, I wish I would have done it in my 20s, but financially,
I didn't even know it was an option.
Yeah, but financially, like I wasn't able to in my 20s, right? I mean, 20s is obviously the best time to do it. I'm 32. I'm going to be 33 in a few weeks. I actually wanted to freeze my eggs at 30, and at 30 was when I actually started losing a lot of weight because I had gained so much when the world was collapsing. And I knew like I didn't want to go through emotional piece of it. I didn't know how my hormones would react with being also overweight, and then, you know, putting hormones inside of me, and, you know, all of this. So I was like, all right, let me like get my body in order before I freeze my eggs, or to start the process. I'm now 3 years down the line. I've lost a lot of weight since. I'm just kind of pushing it off, honestly, for no reason.
But why? What's, again, that same question. Why are you?
Well, I was 33 when I first thought about it officially.
Yeah.
And then I told you that my relationship did not work out at that point.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish I did do it at that point. And I should have, and you know what it is? a lot of people don't know what their insurance covers.
Right.
People aren't asking those questions. When you go back to finance, like the financial aspect of it, they're not asking that.
Yeah.
Financially, how can I do it? Okay, let me see what my insurance covers. How far, and then start making your plan financially. Okay, I'm going to put this much money aside. This is how many rounds I'm willing to do, or whatever the case may be. I think people need to make it as a goal setting, budgeting goal, or life goal. But you just got to plan it out the way you want it.
It's a lot, though.
It's a lot,
like,
though.
Again, in your 20s, like, I mean, I moved around so many times. Like, I lived in Florida, I lived in New York, I lived in London.
Right.
I moved back to New York, then back to Philly. So, like, at that time, I didn't know where I was going to be. And I actually wanted to freeze my eggs in London because the healthcare would have been much better there. But then I was like, wait, I would need to rent out a facility to store my eggs in. If I move back to the States, like, how do I bring it back to the States? Oh, no, I would have to go back to England to use my eggs up, right? So it was like I didn't have a constant in my life of where I was. And I'm still not sure, like, if I'm going to be where I am today in Philly, right? Like, I just moved. So that's one reason of why I haven't done it yet. And secondly, I think I'm also fearful because I do have a lot of body issues, like health issues, in the sense of I'm always broken. I mean, I just told you, like, something just happened to my shoulder on Saturday and I don't know what it is. And I think every time I go to the doctor, they're not telling me one thing, right? And my fear is going through this emotional process again, injecting hormones. What if that affects something else and then I can't take meds to, like...
Have you asked the doctors about that, though?
I haven't started my journey yet of freezing eggs. I will probably look into it in the wintertime. Going back to the financial side, I know my insurance does cover 3 rounds, actually.
Oh, wow.
I would just have to pay for
medication,
the medication and storing, obviously. Yeah. So again, blessed in that sense. I mean, in my 20s, I didn't have that insurance to be able to do that. And again, I was moving around. But yeah, I mean, the why is more so now, like, I just need to, like, I need to stop. Also the why is I'm always on the go. Like, I'm constant, right? I know I need my body to recoup in that time.
But can I just say, don't delay, because it just year goes after year after year.
I know. I mean, look, I'm still going back to the fact of I don't want kids, and my option is adoption, and there is also surrogacy if it comes down the road. But freezing my eggs is just an option, whether I want it or not. If it happens, if it doesn't happen, I know emotionally, since I've already been emotionally going through this for the last 3 years of wanting to freeze my eggs, it's more so like I want to freeze it so I don't go through that emotional roller coaster in the future. But if I don't end up using the eggs in the future or having kids, like, I'm okay. I process with myself that it's okay if I don't have children. I'm okay with that. It's more so I would have to process my feelings of then, oh shit, I'm pregnant. I'm going to have kids now. So it's like, I've already processed that I don't want kids. I mean, I could go into it, but when you were asking Priya, like, what question do you not like getting? Or like, what's the meanest question you got, right? I think the one question I do not enjoy is when people ask why, but it's not like a why, like they genuinely wonder why.
It's judgmental.
It's like
why?
You hear the tone. It's like active delivery.
But why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I especially hate when men say it to me, and I'm like, do you have a uterus? First of all, do you know how hard it is to carry a child?
Right. Are you willing to sort of give birth to a...
it's not unicorns.
Basically the equivalent of a football, English football, through your penis. That's what they say.
You don't even like a catheter through your penis.
That's a good perspective right there.
I mean, it's insane. But anyway.
But yeah, no, I think it's like the tone of the why, of the how do you ask questions, right? I understand there's already this prejudgment because you're already kind of like...
The expectation
you were grown to be on this trajectory of like, you go to school, you get a career, you meet a partner, you have children, and then, it's just this constant cycle. Like, I always tell my mom, I'm one of 2 girls in the States, and then the rest are boys. So I saw everything they can do. And I'm like, what? Why aren't they being questioned about this? They could go through all their career and do X, Y, Z. And now my mom, when I lived with them for a year, saw my trajectory. And she was like, wow, I wanted you to get married because I didn't want you to be alone, but you're not alone. I'm like, exactly, Mom. Like, even if you had a partner, you could still be alone. Even if you had children, you could still be alone, right? Yep. I am happy with where I am, what I'm doing. I'm growing what's outside of me, but also I'm growing myself. Like, I'm truly believe like I'm not the same person as I was yesterday.
I love that.
Right. And if I do bring children to the world, that's exactly how I want to teach them too. Like what you're doing with Maya, right? Like people need to know they have options. I think that needs to be engraved in their brains when they're children, because that was not engraved in our brains. So we have options and choices, and it's what we want, not what people think we should do.
Right.
You know, we come from a generation here at our age where the parents are first generation, second generation, and they've come from India or from wherever, but they still come through that mindset of being old school, as you want to call it.
Understand that.
And I get that. But when you're of our age group and you've been raised outside of India, if you know what struggles you went through as a female South Asian, don't put that on your children. Have a different dialogue. That way your daughters
break the cycle.
Break the cycle.
They talk about how you pass on your generational trauma.
Right. And then speak to your daughters about what choices do you have,
and speak to your sons.
Speak to your sons for sure.
I do the same thing in a different way. Obviously, we're not talking about sex with my 4-year-old, but I talk to him about, in his case, emotions. Like, it's okay to cry. Yes. In fact, don't ever tell a boy boys don't cry. That is BS, and that's why boys get so messed up, because they don't know how to deal with process their feelings.
No.
So totally. I totally speak to boys and girls.
Yeah, and I remember even as me being the only girl in my family it's 3 of us, 2 brothers, me, I'm the oldest, and I would see I'm doing all the chores in the house and they're doing nothing. And I eventually would say to my mom from time to time, Mom, when it's time for their marrying people, whoever they are, they're going to need to learn these chores themselves. They're going to need to how to fend themselves. You can't be there for them always, number one, but they need to learn. Why am I getting the brunt of it?
Well,
why am I doing everything?
Expecting their wives or respective partners to be looked after. But actually, I will tell you, my parents this is how good they were. I'm the same, like older sister and then 2 younger brothers. On a Saturday morning, all of us would clean the house top to bottom. All of us knew how to change the tire of a car. All of us knew how to change the oil and check the oil. My dad gives me the DIY toolbox because he knows I can do everything, whereas my husband would know nothing, because this is a whole different conversation, but he was born and brought up as the eldest son in this whole extended family, and sort of mollycoddled as a boy, Indian boy in the traditional sense, like this is a women's role and this is a men's role. So he had no idea about any of it, let alone the DIY. Whereas my parents made sure it was very equally. In fact, my brothers are probably more tidy and better cooks than me. They're the best partners anybody could have, because they're able to do it all. And I think it's so important. And for my parents to do it in that time, I thought was really forward thinking. Because not all of our extended families were like that. Some are, some aren't. Yeah. And I see so many families who weren't. And then when I got married, when Manny was expecting me, thinking that I would do things, I'm like, whoa, let's have a conversation.
Call for you now. No,
that glass does not go to the sink by itself. You need to pick it up. I am not doing it.
I think we need another episode.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Just like dating in that sense. What the expectations the men on us. It's like, you need to process your trauma, my guy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I will
to trauma. Therapy. Sorry.
I will save 1 second for the fact that my brothers now are capable of doing whatever they can in the house, more so than what we knew.
Good job, Priya's brothers.
Yeah.
So, I want to say that they, saw that my mom did a lot of things on her own too.
Yeah.
So I think they're good.
I think
Yeah, my brothers are the same way too. Like my brother to me would always be like, "Why are you sitting, Sonam? Go help clean up." I'm like, "There's 50 women in the kitchen. I would be a nuisance. Like, why can't I sit down with
And
you
why don't
boys?"
you go and do it?
Yeah, this was when he was younger, and now he is the first guy to get up to help with anything.
Great.
I mean, I do want another episode on this, but
I think
now
so.
the thing that bothers me is always like, "Oh, look at him! Like, what a good boy! Like, he's just doing all this work without anyone telling him."
Oh my God, don't get me started.
And then
When
I did something, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know Sonam was like this, like taking charge and this and this." I'm like, "No, it's because you always thought I was a bitch."
Yeah.
And now when I'm taking charge, when the family is in like disarray right now, you're like, "Oh, she's the one that organized all of this." Like, maybe an unorganized person, but when it comes to like business, I will get shit together.
Yeah. Or like the other one is when I'm at home alone with the kids, it's normal. But when my husband's at home alone with the kids, they're like, "Hi, how's he going to handle it?" I'm like,
"Let me come over and
he's
help."
the
My mom does
dad.
the same thing.
He knows how to handle it. I don't have to
Or when they're
organize
like,
anything.
"Oh, the husband's babysitting." I'm like, "Babysitting? That's their children. That is 50% his. There's no babysitting."
Yes, we need to do a whole episode on
we
this.
should. We should.
Well, I love this conversation, girls. Thank you for being so open. I feel like we could have carried on. But again, back to you have options. You're not alone. And don't let the shame or the guilt or the judgment get you. I know it's hard, but there are people out there who are willing to listen, help, whatever you need.
And this conversation is going to go on. I mean, we are willing to have people on the show to talk about their own experiences. Again, you're not alone. We're doing this in 3 very different ways, but we're here for each other.
Yes.
We're here for you. There's no judgments. And, you know, like whatever you guys want to discuss, we'll have this conversation again. I think this conversation, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, however long
I don't think it's enough.
It's
never
not
enough.
enough. It's not enough. And we will have also medical professionals come on to talk about it as
Yes.
well. I mean, again, none of us are medical professionals.
No, we're just speaking out of experience.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Press Room. Until next time.
Please remember that the content shared on this podcast reflects our personal experiences and perspectives. We are not providing professional advice in any field, including but not limited to creative pursuits, career guidance, or fertility matters. Our aim is simply to share our stories and connect with others who may be navigating similar journeys. Always seek guidance from qualified professionals for specific advice tailored to your individual circumstances. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice.